Francis, Joel Embiid, we've talked about a lot on this platform because he's the greatest of all time at social media.
Already,
He's the
in his early years.
greatest of all time at trolling Mia Khalifa. But in terms of his actual play, it's not that Joel Embiid's the Rookie of the Year, and there is zero argument for anybody else. He might be the greatest rookie of all time, at least since Wilt Chamberlain, who was the greatest rookie of all time. And not just on a scoring basis. You have to see these numbers because they're not mind-boggling, mind-boggling. I forgot what movie that's from where he says mind-boggling. Or you
Harry Potter, maybe?
Is it Harry Potter?
Might have been. Harry!
Mind-pottering.
Hit me with the numbers.
The 13-26 Sixers already surpassed last year's win total. Granted, 10 was a low bar, and smell slightly less putrid of late, going 6-4 over the last 10 games. Meanwhile, Embiid is the only player on the entire roster with a positive plus-minus rating this season, which according to Basketball Reference, is a cumulative plus 53. At the shit end of the list sits fellow center Jahlil Okafor. They're 53 points better with Embiid on the court compared to their other top draft pick, Jahlil Okafor, who were 196 points worse with him on the court. And the points per game graphic, I think we have as number 2. It's an ESPN Stats and Info. Joel Embiid is averaging 28 points per 36 minutes this season. NBA rookie record for points is Wilt Chamberlain. He played 300 years ago where there was no other people that were even 6'5". He had like an 8-inch advantage. Defensively, he's unbelievable. His footwork is unbelievable. He has changed the entire culture of Philadelphia. No more is it Philadelphia. It has become, with him there, the same impact that AI had, a place where you can go, have fun, and may really make a resurgence to Philadelphia being a mecca of basketball.
Jason, between the dates of December 8th, 2016 and January 16th, 2017, the team has a record.
Are they positive? Are they over
Of
500?
9-8.
They're over 500.
They have a winning record. The Philadelphia 76ers, that's the only stat that you have to look at. Yeah, we're not blowing this out of proportion. This is a guy who's putting up remarkable numbers. It's not just that he is playing very well. He's having fun doing it, which, by the way, don't for a second overlook how important that is, especially when you're in a tortured team, in a tortured city that looks at players and are automatically tortured. Like, we are speaking in reference to the man sitting on my left. Like, when you see Kristaps Porzingis with a smile on his face, actually enjoying playing well, it changes the idea that something can come. Because fans, all they want, by the way, don't take anything away from anything else. Yeah, they want to win, blah, blah, blah. All fans want is hope. That is all they want. If your team, whether you go from a superstar team, which happens in the NBA at times, to a team that is just disastrous, like what has happened with the Lakers, all they need is hope in order to get people back on board.
He's a new age Shaq. His numbers are translating to wins. They get Ben Simmons back. They're 13-26. If you had 100% increase in production, you're probably doing well in your business. Yeah, well, if they get to 20 wins, they had a 100% increase.
And you mentioned it there. This is a good article from Fansided. I can leave it in the comments, which means Jason needs to write that down. I'll leave it in the article in the comments. They've managed to do this already, right? And this is with Joel Embiid being on minute restrictions, as you mentioned earlier. He was
no back-to-backs, right?
24 minutes per game. Yeah, he's only played 28 of the team's 38 games due to back-to-back game restrictions.
So that means they probably could have won 2 or 3 more with just him on the court. Understating it.
With first overall pick Ben Simmons out, and then you mentioned their key shooter and ball handler, Jerry Bayless, only playing 3 games.
It's a lot of praise for Bayless. By the way,
well, that's what they are saying, key shooter. I don't think there's only one key player at the moment in Philadelphia.
Embiid changed his Twitter profile picture after McConnell hit the game winner to him doing a fist pump side by side with Michael Jordan doing a fist pump. McConnell, not Embiid himself.
That's
just the most absurd thing.
And you can
saying.
You can tell he's a team player as well, right? Because what often happens, right?
Good passer.
I don't want this to come off as me ragging on Anthony Davis, right? Because I think Anthony Davis is a phenomenal player, and I don't think he's been given the backing at New Orleans, right?
He needs to have more fun.
I think he needs to. No, I agree. I think he has to have more fun. I think he wants out. We know that now because he's given, how many years already? 3, 4 years he's been in the NBA?
It feels like 100.
It feels like a long time, and it feels like you can understand his frustration. But this is someone who, in a way, if he was to look at his career in a similar vein to Anthony Davis, he'd probably think to himself, shit, man, if this team are a disaster, my career could hit a stall. Like, I'm already thinking ahead to the future. But he's not looking at it that way. He's looking at, I'm in the NBA. I'm an NBA basketball player. It's probably his dream since he was 5 years old. I am living my dream, and I'm going to have a hell of a time doing it whilst playing well with a smile on my face and bringing everyone around me to fruition. Like, he is a team player.
He knows he has to take the minutes restriction seriously. He knows that his foot injury is something that, you know, for 2 years kept him out of playing altogether. He's a rookie in his 3rd season who didn't play a game. He got drafted in 2014.
Yep.
So he's not even, we don't even know what the full Embiid looks like. We've never seen him play 40 minutes. We're talking about a guy who might start putting up like 40 and 15 and 5 and 5. We're talking like Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett in their prime, comparable numbers, if not more. And what do Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett have in common? Playoffs, championships, MVPs, great play.
Who at this point do you put him in a bracket with? Because so you look at it in value, a player,
he's in the
rookie,
potential bracket.
A rookie who's turned an overwhelmingly losing team into a fringe winning team in one season with the same group of players that he had, because he's not had Ben Simmons at his Arsenal.
I have no other way to put it, and this is the people are gonna rip this apart. The last time I saw this with such dramatic change in culture of a city was LeBron James. They went. He came and got drafted. Since high school, he was since fucking middle school, the guy was the prodigy of 8 gods and Zeuses and other people. And
he looks
he's gonna save it. Seriously, his body's getting, except for his hair, he's just grow an Odin beard.
I know.
Great Odin's beard, Ron Burgundy once said. The culture changed in Cleveland from we will never win a damn thing to we will go to the playoffs.
I'm excited to see what happens when Ben Simmons is able to make an
I'm
appearance.
so pumped that I can't wait till the first game where he probably goes like 2 of 9 shooting with maybe 7 assists. See, he's not that good.
But do you know who will
First
still make him
game.
his profile picture? Joel Embiid.
He'll put him next to like Lionel Messi. He'll be like
Do
the
it.
goat of passing.
If you want to appeal to really cement yourself as the overall king, cross sports,
he
Joel Embiid.
geotagged
Cross
his
sports at the same time.
His last game, he geotagged in his Instagram post. He was in Milwaukee, and he geotagged it shithole.
No shits, Kevin. All right, let us know what you think.
So good.
3 stories we talked about. Antoine Griezmann. We previewed the preview of the preview of the preview of the preview of the Super Bowl. And we talked about, of course, Joel Embiid. Francis_Maxwell on Twitter. Francis M. Maxwell on Instagram.
chat.
Jason Rubin 91 on both.
And MySpace.
If you're watching on Pluto, thanks again and tune in. If you're watching on YouTube, of course, you can alternate between the stories once they're all up. We'll see you guys soon.